Snake, have you ever seen the War of the Worlds?
No.
These flying saucers from Mars arrive on Earth disguised as meteorites. The saucers use their heat rays to attack the nearby towns. And then...
Something wrong.
The thing is, I was too scared to watch. I had my eyes shut almost the whole time.
Then you haven't seen it.
No, it's not that. It's based on a novel by H.G. Wells.
That's terrible.
Isn't it, though?
So, you haven't seen the movie?
I saw it. So even nuclear weapons wouldn't work against the Martian war machines.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, Snake, if you conceal yourself like the Martians did, the enemy won't know what hit them. Something like a box.
Ah, I get it. So, you never saw the movie?
I saw it, all right?
This could be the beginning of the end for the human race. For what men...
We're about to watch War of the Worlds, a movie which last time I associated with Orson Welles, which it is closely because of a radio play in the movie. But I made a small mistake. It's actually based on an H.G. Wells book.
Oh, so I couldn't make the joke, Orson of the Wells. It wouldn't make sense.
It'd make a little sense. But famously, I mean, the story everyone goes to in this movie is that the first, well, not the movie, but when the radio play first aired, because of the way it was done stylistically, a lot of people thought it was a real broadcast, and there was a bit of uproar for a bit. But then, you know, they go out, see everything's fine, change the radio station, no one else is reporting on it, and they're like, well, I feel silly now.
They go back in, they tune in just to double check, and they said, oh, the aliens, they're invisible. And it's like, that's why we couldn't see them. And they go back out and start panicking again.
Yeah. There's one right there! And there!
Oh.
So, no, yeah. I think I've seen versions of this. I don't know if I've ever seen the original. No, wait, no. I think I did see the last, 10 minutes or so on TV once, so I think I know how it ends. But there's one line that always stuck out to me. They view our Earth with green, envious eyes.
Yes.
That's a good old nugget.
Who said that? Morgan Freeman?
Probably Orson Welles, right? He had that similar baritone. He was, he's a big guy. He had a big guy in a...
So is he involved with this or not?
Yeah. I think this is his film.
Oh, right.
I'm saying the original book was by H.G. Wells. Orson Welles didn't conceive of the original story.
So was there a Wells involved with the Tom Cruise one? Or did they just throw all the aliens down a well? And they thought, yeah, that's a good ending.
Maybe.
Yeah, it'd be a better ending than how it did end. From what I heard, it deviates from the original story quite a bit.
Yeah, I wonder why... Because that's quite common for, big blockbuster adaptations, like I Am Legend. You know how that was originally meant to end, don't you? Yeah, which is, more... it lines up with everything that's happened, it makes sense, it's like a good twist, and it fits.
It's interesting that you chose that to compare it to, because the ending they did go with is a grenade ending, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because in I Am Legend, he blows himself up with a grenade.
Uh-huh.
And in War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise one, he throws a grenade into the cockpit, and that's how they deal with the rest of the alien ships, but just throw grenades in them. They're literally Star Wars Empire Strikes Back them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just funny, but what are we going to do? How do we beat these guys? Wait a minute! Grenades! Of course, why didn't we think of grenades?
They thought to themselves, what would Michael Bay do?
Yeah.
Explosion. Okay, do we have any explosions? Well, we've got these fake grenades.
And then Tom Cruise was like, don't mess with Earth, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And yeah, other than that, I don't know much about the middle. What about you?
I don't know much at all. I'm just hoping that this won't depress me like the last few. Because anything to do with war and our world and it coming to an end, it's usually not ended so well.
So this doesn't bode well.
It doesn't, but I'm keeping a open mind that, I don't know, maybe the aliens turn out to be sexy, like Daft Punk anime babes.
Or the ones from... what was that other one we watched? It Came from Outer Space, I think.
Oh, right, the one-eyed monsters.
Yeah, they were pretty sexy.
Okay. I guess to some people, yes.
Well, let's watch this movie and see how sexy the aliens are.
Awesome. Well, that was better than I expected.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be a bad film, but I was somewhat expecting it to make me feel bad. But no, it was a bit like It Came From Outer Space at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's very much like that. Something came crashing down. They were investigating it for a while. Something came out. That sort of deal. That's a good way to start these alien films because there's an air of mystery and you have a chance to think for yourself what is going to come out. And then, because you don't know for sure, it's always quite thrilling to see what comes out.
Yeah. Like when they first find it, they think it's a meteorite or something, and they're like excited because they think, oh, imagine all the minerals and stuff we're going to get. But it starts unscrewing a lid on the top, and it's unscrewing it for quite a while, isn't it?
Yeah.
It must have been a very narrow top. But yeah, what I really liked about the intro is the narration, because I don't think I've seen it from the source a lot, but I feel like a lot of stuff I watched growing up sort of did that thing where it opens with quite a spooky narration, like the clangers.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And what was another one? Like even some Looney Tune cartoons, they'd sort of do that sort of thing where it's just this voice setting the scene, basically. And that I thought that was really cool. Oh, Twilight Zone's another one as well.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you're referring to the monologue. Yeah, when it's looking at all the planets and everything. And listing.
Yeah, because before that there was like the war footage stuff, but then like after that it was sort of like the monologue.
Yeah, it was that initial war thing. I thought visually it's quite good because it started off black and white. Then as soon as the film's title came up, it was in colour. And not only was it in colour, but later on we'll find out how those colours are quite significant. It was RGB. Started off as red, went to green and then blue, and then we found out later that does hold some significance because of the aliens.
Yeah.
But yeah, the monologue itself, it's pretty much, it's almost word for word for what I've already heard, because I really like the music from the musical of War of the Worlds. Like, I listen to the main theme all the time, and it starts off with that same monologue.
I guess it must be lifted straight from the book then.
I think it probably is, yeah. And the guy who says it in that it's very dramatic, it's very good. But the whole time I was listening to it in this rendition, I was so hoping for that theme song to come on.
For them to break into song.
Yeah, da, 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 I would have loved that, but I know it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But one more thing I want to mention about the monologue is there are many ways to pronounce Uranus or Uranus, but he pronounced it a way I've never heard before, and he said, it was almost like he said, "You are anus." And not only that, one thing I learnt about this, and I've not really delved into Uranus on my personal time, so I don't know much about it, but apparently it's filled with methane, which I mean, whoever created the name for that planetoid, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They learned it was filled with methane. I was like, you know what else is filled with methane? I was about to say mom, but no, Uranus.
You said about the colours. There's two big takeaways I have from this, which I'll get to. But one of them was that there was quite a big distinction between the alien lighting and the people lighting, because the people lighting, there's like strong shadows, but it's quite naturalistic in a way. You know, naturalistic as far as film goes. But everything with the aliens, these very saturated, colourful lights, like reds and greens, and like even the skies would become purple towards the end. So I thought that was pretty cool, the way they created, and even like they sound unnatural, their shapes are unnatural. It's just like a cool distinction between our Earth and them.
Yeah, I think overall the practical effects, special effects, lighting, colouring, it was all really well put together. And I think, well, I don't know. I don't know if I've seen any more Orson Welles films.
No, I don't know if I have.
But I don't know if maybe he's just got more budget, because although it had a lot of similarities to They Came From Outer Space, it obviously had more money and it had more like set designs that they could afford to put together.
I think he was higher pedigree around this time, because the story as I understand it is he made a film called Citizen Kane. And the reason that's meant to be so great is that before Citizen Kane, film was sort of like quite flatly shot. It was more like a filmed play. You know, you'd have people on a soundstage and just sort of shoot them, and you'd rely on their performance and the dialogue to sort of make it interesting. Whereas he developed what was, you know, now called cinematography, sort of using a language with angles and visuals and stuff to sort of really bring it across. And I can really believe it from this, because one thing I really noticed in this is not only the shots were really interesting, and the staging is good. Like, apparently staging is a really lost art now, because you can CGI everything has to be shot really quickly. It's just, there's a lot of freedom. Whereas before, you'd sort of like, okay, you stand here and you stand here, so you'll be in the foreground and you'll do this. And not only is that really interesting, but he doesn't always cut from one shot to another. He'll like move through a scene and sort of transition from one composition to another. And I just thought that was really cool. And like, even like when the alien's coming out of a ship, or where something's happening, just like even slowly pulling in or slowly drifting out to sort of create this uneasy feeling. I thought it was all really, really, really good.
Yeah, I think one of my favourite examples of that is when they're in the rubble of the barn, the farmhouse, and you can see the shadow of the alien.
Yeah.
Once it's outside of its ship, coming to investigate, you can see its shadow, and then it like the camera goes forward, and then it goes to the right, and I'm thinking, oh, is this giving it a chance to like come into the scene, not just its shadow? And yeah, that was pretty like, that was good.
Yeah, that was quite a different set piece as well, because so much of it is about the spaceships. It's quite wide open and quite domineering, a lot of the shots. So it was cool in that scene where they had like the periscope thing, and it was sort of like a bit more claustrophobic.
Kind of reminded me of A Boy and His Dog, and how whatever those things are in that film, they have like these probes that like shine a green light to investigate what's going on. Do you remember that?
I weirdly don't remember that bit.
That's not that weird, actually, because we'd never get to see what those things are in that film.
You are talking about the film where he's in the post-apocalypse, right?
Yeah, he's in a post-apocalypse, and he gets jacked off, and his dog can talk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that all sort of down in the barns and stuff?
In the barns? I don't know about that.
I remember he goes underground, and there's like a whole underground...
Oh, there's like a vault sort of like place.
Yeah, and it's got barns and stuff in it. Is that where the green things are, or are they above ground?
Oh, they're above ground.
Oh, right.
Those people are like hiding from the creatures above.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that bit for some reason.
It's only one scene, and I don't think they're ever mentioned again.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about that film.
Shish.
What I always like about these films is they always cut back to and fro humanity just doing their everyday thing, and then it'll cut back to for example, the beginning of a film with the meteorite. It'll cut back to that and think, oh, it's progressing. It's like opening up, doing something. But then it'll go back to civilization, and then like, well, they go square dancing at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
And oh, by the way, during that square dancing scene, I've got to say, I've seen a couple of square dancing hoedowns in my time through media. That was the most monotone singer I've ever heard.
Yeah.
He was like, put your arm in front, and then to the back, and then step to the right, and I don't know, do what you want from that point.
Come on, Carl, give it a little twang.
My wife just died. I'm really not in the mood for this.
Yeah,
I need the money.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I did like how it sort of cuts to the larger stuff and like the ground floor stuff. But I thought that was a bit of a weirdly quick one, because it's like we're in the middle of the slow reveal of the door, and then for like 5 seconds it cuts back to the party, then it goes straight back to the thing opening again.
It wasn't 5 seconds. I thought that was weird as well, because it was showing the unscrewing, and then it cut to the square dancing scene, and they were there for about a minute, and then it came back to the unscrewing. I was like, wait a minute, it wasn't unscrewing for a whole minute.
That's not how I remember it. I remember there was a big scene at the party. There's a bit with the unscrewing. It cuts back to the party for about 5 seconds, and then goes right back to the unscrewing again. But maybe I'm misremembering it.
I don't know, maybe I'm misremembering it.
But what I did like about that, see, I think I was confusing Orson Welles with Alfred Hitchcock quite a bit. But maybe they have this similar thing where they have quite a wry sense of humour, where it's like towing the line between, is this meant to be serious or is it meant to be funny? And I thought it was kind of amusing that those three guys at the beginning, who were trying to be friendly and like, you know, wanted to welcome the aliens, and they just get vaporized. And it was sad, but it was also just kind of funny because they were so affable.
It was comical, because that Mexican guy in the middle, who, by the way, looks remarkably like Oliver Hardy. He's Mexican Oliver Hardy. That's what I'm going to call him from now on.
Why don't you do something to help me, man?
Well, the thing is, he was like out of the three, the smartest, because he was like, I think we should go away, man. And it was like, no, let's try to communicate.
We've got a flag.
Let's wave at the white flag. I don't know if they are paying no attention to no white flag. And then they get closer, and then all of a sudden he's thinking, yeah, the white flag is working. And then they just get vaporized.
Yeah.
I was like, it wasn't working.
Which, that laser, do you think that was an inspiration for the Blitz cannon?
In what?
Ratchet and Clank.
Oh,
It's got that similar sort of diffuse effect.
maybe. What is the Blitz cannon? Is it like the shotgun one?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe. I mean, that's just a particle effect that I'm sure lots of things use.
Yeah, maybe you're right. But yeah, there was that scene. The main character, I think we both sort of thought was he's got like a Superman quality where he's quite buff and masculine, but then he's got like these nerdy glasses on. But then he kind of sounds like a bit of a doofus, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think the first instance of that, it depends what situation he's in, I guess, but there are definitely scenes when it really feels inappropriate. Like, the first time I noticed him saying something weird was when they were in makeshift bunkers, him in the military, looking on with binoculars. They see the crafts first coming out of the crater, and he says, "This is amazing." And I was like, what? That didn't even sound like him.
He sounds like the bad dubbing on the extended bed knobs and broomsticks.
Yeah, I was getting that. Like, it really did seem like it was dubbed, or like The Room.
Yeah.
Now he dubs his own voice.
Don't you think these aliens are amazing? You're right. They do look cool.
They look pretty good. That's not what I said.
During that scene, the priest. It's funny because the intro lets us know the aliens are bad news. He kills the comedic side characters so we know they're bad news. But then the priest is like, oh, we haven't tried to talk to him yet. And it's like, didn't you see the vaporized bodies? So he tries to go and, there's sort of a religious theme that plays into the finale. But he goes up and tries to be friendly with them and gets killed. And the woman, 0 to 100, just screaming like crazy.
Oh yeah, she was notorious for that.
I think she knew he was going to do that, and she specifically went between two soldiers because she just wanted to freak out so that they'd have to like grab her.
She just wanted to be grabbed.
Yeah, but she needed a good, back in those days they had to be tactical about it. They couldn't admit they wanted to be grabbed. They had to put themselves in a situation.
Oh, yes. She is so coy. But no, going back to the whole religious aspect, because I thought his approach was interesting because he was deliberating if these aliens life forms. Because I always thought, as a rule of thumb, most religions, when they're concerned with alien life forms, they think they're, godless creatures and they should be exterminated.
Yeah.
But this guy's approach to it was, they are like a higher life form. They've got more technology than us. They could teach us more.
Yeah, so
they're closer to God.
Yeah.
Is what he said.
That's interesting as well, because I would have thought that, like, aliens are a bit of a problem for religion, because, there's nowhere in the Bible that sort of, like, when you see aliens, it's like, it sort of calls God into question.
Yeah, he's probably thinking, oh, great, we got to write a new chapter, a whole New Testament.
We have to get ahead of this. We have to lay claim to this and work it into the narrative.
The Colonel in that scene was really annoying. Well, not really annoying, but I just found it weird how he kept on asking the Doctor, is that possible? I was like, well, I don't know. They're aliens. Anything's possible.
I'm just spitballing here. It's like, I don't know if it was him, but there's someone on the TV going like, so they could have evolved differently to us. Yeah, they could have 3 hearts or 2 arms or like 3 brains. Like, wow, 3 brains. Do you hear that? And he goes, it's just speculation. Just like taking the wind out.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but the priest, when he was walking up to the alien crafts, he recited the first line of Gangster's Paradise.
What?
I mean, obviously it's something from the Bible,
Yeah.
but I never knew, because he said, as I walk through the shadow of the valley of death. That's from the Bible, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the first line in Gangster's Paradise also. And I'm thinking, is he going to, like, start rapping? Is he going to, like, throw some sick beats and, like...
Do you think Gangster's Paradise lifted up from the Bible, or the Bible copied Gangster's Paradise?
Well, they probably ripped Paradise from Gangster's Paradise.
Mm.
Yeah, I think so.
That's just typical, isn't it? Always, taking stuff from the black people.
The black people.
I don't know.
I'm going to keep any of this.
I don't know. Early on in this film, I didn't have much to write down, and then I just started writing down all kinds of stuff, and
I noticed that.
yeah.
Most stuff I was writing down at the beginning was Mexican Oliver Hardy.
There's obviously, as we have established, there always has to be a love angle in this, doesn't there?
Mm.
I did think the introduction to this was pretty cool, where she says, "Oh, I bet I didn't recognize you because of your glasses." It's like, yeah, I only wear them because I'm nearsighted. I only wear them to see stuff far away. And then where if I want to look at something close, I take them off, and he takes them off and looks at her right away. And I was like, was that a move?
Absolutely, it was a move.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good move. It wasn't like overdone.
It would have been funnier if he took his glasses off, looked at her, and he was boz-eyed. He was, that's very nice.
It's around that time that they sort of introduced the idea of radioactivity. Sort of around this time, that was like, it was transistors and radioactivity. They were the two main science things, right? Yeah. Although it doesn't really play into it here, but like Spider-Man, Hulk, everyone was just getting irradiated and it just did all the science stuff you needed.
I'm surprised at this point. When does this take place? 50s? Or does it place during the 60s?
Well, it's made during the 50s, so I assume it's the 50s, yeah.
Yeah.
Contemporary.
Well, I just think, because whenever they go to these meteorite landings, I mean, the first thing you should be thinking is it radioactive? It's come from space.
Mm.
But there's some hick with a shovel thinks, I can't wait to get in this and find me some gold. And it's like, it's not gold. It's uranium, you ass.
What did you think of the effects? Because I thought the models were pretty cool. Like, they kind of looked like a manta ray with a, periscope or whatever.
Mm.
I thought the laser effects were pretty cool, but then, like, the vaporizations were a bit dated.
I don't know. I think all in all, it looked pretty good. And I do like how they worked in tandem with the pyrotechnics and lighting, like I said before.
Yeah.
But when that fellow was doing the news on the radio at the site, and it was starting to attack all the people, the way the fire appeared after the lighting went across, did a sweeping motion. That was really cool. But in terms of the aliens' designs, I was on board with it until they started searching through the rubble with Sylvia and the doctor fella, and all of a sudden they were scouting with their dicks. That's what it looked like. And then later on, when that one started to leave, he said, "It's pulling out. It's pulling out." I was like, "Hang on a minute. What are they doing?" They're doing this on purpose, I can just tell.
There was a few funny bits in that scene, because I thought there were two bits where she's like staring, there's a light, and I just thought in my head, he's standing right behind me, isn't he?
Yeah.
But then she turns around, and it's like not moving, it's just like looking right at her, and I just thought that was really funny.
Less than a foot away.
Yeah.
That's good camera work. If that is indeed the alien's dick, which we find out it's not, that's just really provocative now, isn't it? It's just right behind her. But what are you waiting for?
No. I hope that was blood on the scarf. But then there's another one where like his creepy little hand comes up on her and he's behind her, and she turns around and shines the light on it, and we find out later, because they do end up learning some stuff about the aliens from this encounter, but when she shines the light on it and it covers its face, it's almost like it's going, "Don't look at me, I'm hideous."
Yeah.
And then it runs away, and then he throws something at it. I don't even know what it was, like just a pipe or something, and you hear it scream and run off. And it's like, did it embed it right in the eye? And it was like, it just ran out there.
I do like the idea of when it was screaming, and it screamed like a woman. But I like the idea that it just ran home to Mummy and said, "He hit me." It's like, "Oh, don't worry, we'll vaporize him."
Yeah, because I even found that quite funny when they're leaving. Because at first they're like, they hit it and they're surveying it and they're like being very loose. And as soon as that happens, they run away, and in the background you just see it going, just vaporizing it.
Yeah, that's totally what happened.
Yeah.
Little alien baby.
So after that, they do have a scene where they like analyze the blood and learn stuff about it. Now I had this loaded for a while, because I was gonna say the resolution maybe doesn't make the most sense, because I thought it was a virus that got them, like the common cold. I was like, well, that's not really how it works, because yeah, they haven't adapted to it, but like viruses, they adapt to biological life form as well. So unless it just happened to cross the species barrier, which in itself would be quite lucky, that doesn't make sense. But it wasn't a virus, it was bacteria, and I think that is different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is weird, because you think if something's that advanced, they'd account for something like that. They'd have spacesuits or whatever. Because they were even scouting other planets like, Uranus? Nah, it smells like ass. Want to go to... Nah, that's too cold. So, yeah, it is kind of strange. In a weird way, it's quite thoughtful in the way it's thought through the logic of it. But then it's like the aliens didn't think to like bring a hazmat suit or something.
Well, throughout the entire film, I was confused what exactly their motive was. I put it down to two things. Because they were envious, right? They were either going to take the world for themselves, Because they were killing everything. They weren't
Yeah.
just killing just the humans, which were clearly like the masters of this world.
Yeah.
They were killing all the wildlife, everything.
Yeah, there's one shot where they have like tons of horses running down a hill, and it's like, man, he must have had money to be able to, unless it was a stock thing or
I
whatever.
suppose it could have been a stock thing.
Yeah.
But that would be pretty easy to set up as well.
There's just so many horses. Like, whenever I watch these old films and I see everything they're doing with horses, I'm like, God, how many people died shooting this?
Yeah, it's likely. But the thing is, right, I once I saw all that footage of them killing all the animals, I'm thinking, well, what are they doing? Are they just are they that envious and spiteful that they're actually not looking to relocate themselves? They're just going to make it more of a shithole than where they already live.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Well, what do you think? Do you think it's either of those or?
That's interesting, because this is something I was thinking of. Because remember a while ago when they were sort of saying, oh, the US is releasing a bunch of stuff that UFOs might have shown up, but it was just like, oh yeah, we got a bunch of readings we don't really understand, and like, who knows why they did it? Like, it might have just been a, whatever. But I was thinking about this logic of like, if you can travel space, yeah, if you can make the journey, because we're still trying to do it, and with very limited results. If you've mastered interstellar travel, then you don't need resources. So would a race like that, because we have this like whole thing of aliens coming down to conquer us and take our resources and stuff, but if they've got the capability to do that, they're probably doing all right. So then the question is, would they be arseholes? And I was thinking about sort of island races that don't have natural predators, like the birds and the tortoises and the... I learned recently, the last surviving mammoths got landlocked onto an island, and they evolved to be like really passive and like non-hostile. And they were also like dwarf mammoths, so they were like, they maybe fit in this room type mammoths, and eventually people found them and hunted them all and killed them to extinction, as is their wont. But I was just wondering, if you did have a society that was capable of this, would they naturally be passive, or would they still have that, imperialistic conquering hunger in them? And I don't know.
Well, it depends how desperate they are, because you say, what's the point of them venturing out into space if they have the materials to make spacecraft? They're probably doing all right.
Yeah.
But no, I would argue that that's their last ditch effort. They're using all of their resources to leave the planet and then relocate somewhere else that has more materials.
But it's such an investment, and it's something
well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's an act of desperate.
But I'm saying, if you have that technology, you probably wouldn't be in the desperate situation, and if you were, you could go to somewhere that has more stuff. But I mean, obviously, the narration implies that they wanted our Earth for its resources, because it's nicer than their home, and I mean, maybe there probably was some spite in there, just based on how they were acting.
Yeah, maybe they're just flexing. They just like killing stuff and say, hey, look, we can kill stuff way better than you guys can. And that's saying something. Humans are fucked up.
Yeah, because for a lot of the film, there's a lot of montages of like people working in coordination, which I like in these films, because it's sort of, when there is a big disaster, there is this idea that like it pulls humanity together and they all work and like manage everything. But then there is one scene where it shows all the assholes, scrambling like rats to get out of there. And this is another really funny bit where there's like 4 guys. One punches one guy, another guy punches him, but the guy behind him smashes him on the head with a vase.
Yeah, it was absolute chaos in that scene.
Yeah. Even the main character gets punched.
Yeah, he had some choice words about them. He was saying, you fools, don't you realize what I have in this van? And then they steal it. He comes back to get it. And he goes, don't you understand? This stuff could save us. Hi-ya! And he just punches him in the face.
Yeah.
And then later on, he was saying, he was almost like giving up at that point. And he was like, they basically cut their own throats. Which, is a pretty good analogy.
Yeah, so it does sort of cover both sides of it, sort of the optimistic side and the selfish side.
When everyone was evacuating right before then, as bleak as that imagery is, everybody like packing up and leaving and then, not really going anywhere specific, just out of there. I saw this one image of a kid and a dog just going to town on an ice cream stall. And I was thinking, well, I guess it's not all bad.
Yeah.
The kids get to have as much ice cream as they want before the end.
Well, speaking of foods, before they attacked that house they were staying out in, did you see the eggs? I think, man, those eggs look pretty good.
Yeah. They did look pretty good.
And they reminded me of Sonny's eggs.
They're better than those. They looked really meaty. Like they were thick. They are. I think she overcooked them, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I like them overcooked.
Well, the top looked soft, but the edges were quite crispy, so there's probably a lot of fat in there as well.
Yeah, she was not one for cooking them over easy.
Yeah.
But that's a sign of a real good chef. I thought they were just going to live the rest of their days in that farm, and then 2 minutes later, they're getting alien dicks coming through the windows. And...
Yeah, because they mention in the war room they're doing like a scythe motion and just like culling every. Because I thought it was a bit weird that they were starting in the countryside, but I was like, oh, maybe they start in the countryside where it's quiet. You know, they obviously need a little while to recoup the ship from the impact, and then they work their way to the bigger cities. But yeah, they were leaving no stone unturned. You know, just find a little house in its own. Like, well, yeah, obviously we have to fuck that up. But the ending, where they get taken out by the bacteria. Before we get to the religious aspect, it's kind of funny how it happens, because the way the ship sort of tilts and then slowly crashes, it almost implies like they were drunk at the wheel or something, and they just slowly start tipping. Because, like, obviously if they have an accident, they wouldn't go from, like, operating as normal to then, like, you know, it's gradually, it wouldn't be expressed in the ship so much.
Well, something you got to remember about the ship is that it's not actually flying, is it? It's tethered to the ground through electromagnetic legs. That's what they said at the beginning of the film. Because I think in the original design they did have legs, and they like stood really tall amongst, you know, the clouds even.
I didn't hear that bit. I must have missed it.
Oh no, yeah, they said that, and you did see it a little bit through the special effects, but they didn't like revisit that at any point. Just like the force field around them, you could see them when they were explaining it, but then beyond that, you didn't really see it at all.
I got the sense that you could see it because they were like being struck, so you sort of saw the outline of it.
Yeah.
Although they did just look like one of those things you'd use to cover a flower with, didn't they?
Oh yeah, a little terrarium or something like that.
Yeah.
Like in Beauty and the Beast.
But yeah, that makes sense now then. So like if the legs are
They were stumbling. They were
Yeah.
literally like leaning to one side. They were getting drunk.
Yeah. And then his hand comes out and he's like...
Yeah.
Maybe this is just my bias, but my initial thought was like, oh, this is showing that God has no place in this world of science. But then in the end, when everyone's just like huddling together in the churches, like accepting that they're probably going to be killed soon, that's when everything works out. So is it... Do you reckon that's pro-God?
I don't know if the final message is... Well, maybe the final message is like, God saved us in the end. Because even if you did take into consideration they all like died of like the bacteria, they all died of a bacteria pretty much at the same time, and they all landed on the Earth at different times. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe it was God. Maybe it was a miracle. Well, in that scene when they're in the church and he's going from church to church trying to find Sylvia, and everybody's just like singing or like praying, and then he gets to that last one. And that's when people start to like begin screaming because the violence is getting closer and closer. And I just thought, hang on a minute, I recognize that scream. I recognize this scream from anywhere. It's been happening throughout the entire film. It's Sylvia, and you don't see her for a while. I was like, oh, maybe it is just generic screaming, and we're not going to see her again. And then we see her again. I was like, oh, okay, it was her screaming.
Maybe they did that on purpose.
Maybe.
Because whenever she screams, you really do notice, don't you?
Yeah.
Which, most of them, like, she screams because the priest is going to get killed. She screams because the aliens are coming up on her. But then, there's that one where he goes, what's on the scar? It's blood! Ah!
Yeah, she just says, ah, ah, ah! So, would you shut up? Just shaking her around.
Yeah. And then she's like, you don't understand, it's cashmere! I'm never going to get this out!
Did it belong to her, or was it...
No, I don't think so.
No.
I was just...
Just making a joke?
Yeah, just making a little joke.
Don't you ever do that again.
I'm sorry. Oh, I've written evil sprinkler here, but yeah, that doesn't really... You know what I mean.
The red stuff.
Yeah, when it's just for one of them sort of like scatter bombing everywhere.
Never in a film that includes an atomic bomb have I heard someone refer to what I would call the detonation time as bomb time. He called it, get ready for bomb time. Bomb time? What was it, bomb o'clock? No one says that. Why do you say detonation?
Yeah.
Was that wasn't Orson Welles who said that, was it? It was somebody else on the intercom.
I think
Because we suspect that he did like have his own monologue.
Yeah, he was playing a reporter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But
He said something funny though.
yeah, when
He
it's,
said, "Nothing like this has ever been exploded before."
yeah, that's
And is he talking about the aliens or is he talking about the bomb?
yeah. I don't know, but it is just like a weird, funny way of saying it, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's like a little kid, like nothing like this has ever been exploded before.
that all happened all in one scene. I was like, what's happened to the writing? He's just saying bomb time and nothing's ever been exploded.
They're just so excited to blow this thing up.
Yeah.
I suppose the last thing I have to say is like Orson Welles, as we say, well respected, but later in life didn't quite have the same pedigree he had. He had to do a lot of commercials to make money to do his films and stuff. And you know what his last film role was, don't you?
No.
He played Unicron in the Transformers movie.
Oh, right. That guy.
Yeah, so it's like you either die a respected filmmaker or you live long enough to see yourself become the world-destroying alien menace.
Truer words were never said.
I don't think so. No.
Orson Welles wouldn't have put it better himself.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, yeah.
He'd probably be too pissed out of his head to even formulate a sentence.
Well, I've got good news and I've got bad news.
Oh boy.
The good news is the next film we're going to watch is A Fistful of Dollars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's I've seen in the trilogy of films, I've seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I've never seen the original, and I've never seen the second one, so looking forward to it. The bad news is, I was wrong. Orson Welles made the radio play. He did not make this film. He might have been the reporter, but other than that, he might not have been in it at all.
Oh.
Yes.
You were wrong again.
Yeah. I was wrong the first time. I was wrong this time. Earlier you said, oh, the Orson Welles stuff doesn't work. You were right. It doesn't.
Now I'm starting to be wrong. I don't think I should be hanging around with you anymore. Next time I get forced to go to the cinema, I don't want it to be with you.
Well, maybe you're wrong about that.
Well, whatever.
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles, whatever, man.